Radio Rahim with Leonard Ellerbe. Christmas week in Atlanta, a weekday nonetheless, and a Monday. And we're here for Gervonta Davis media workout. You can hear the fans. We can see them behind us. This is a hell of a turnout.
Definitely see them.
Right.
And it's Monday. It's fight week in the A.
That's correct. So obviously Atlanta is on the first day proving to be a good pick for locations. It hasn't been a fight here, a world title fight even in
21 years.
Yeah, 21 years. So what brings Mayweather Promotions and Gervonta Davis to Atlanta for Christmas?
Atlanta is a hotbed. It's a city that's been yearning for a big event. The city's ready. The people have embraced us, and we excited. This is a great city. We just ain't had nothing down here. So Tank gonna bring them out on Saturday night. They coming. Trust me.
So for Tank's, he can pack a place in Baltimore. He can put people asses in seats, as they say, just about
and
anywhere.
the UK, and LA, and New York. Okay, go ahead.
So what makes Atlanta special? Why here?
Because it's been an untapped market. Again, like you mentioned earlier, it's been 21 years since Evander Fort Vaughn being down here. And again, Tank is the movement. This whole generation of people, this young generation, they rocking with Tank. They want to see motherfuckers get knocked out. That's what they want to see.
With that said, they also, as we discussed last time, want to see him against stellar competition. There's no disrespect to Eureka Gamboa, but the guy's 37. He's considered to be on the downside of his career. In 2020, are we looking at him stepping up in competition and challenging for world titles?
Well, he got a tough-ass fight Saturday night, and again, Gamboa's going to bring it. Tank ain't overlooking him. I'm not overlooking him because he's got to get through that right there. Gamboa has nothing to lose, everything to gain. Tank is the only one that got everything to lose. So hopefully, God willing, we get through Saturday night, and then we move on. His next fight will be pay-per-view.
We saw Teofimo Lopez just a couple of weeks ago make a hell of a statement at the Garden.
Yeah.
So what do you think of his performance a few Saturday nights ago and his prospects against Lomachenko?
He's a good young fighter. Got nothing but respect for him. He did his thing against Comedy. Didn't really get a chance to see much, but again, that's what you're supposed to do. If a guy's in there and he ain't supposed to be with you in there, run his ass out the ring. And that's what he did. Props to him, nothing but respect. He can't fuck with Tank, though.
Most people are talking about Lomachenko, obviously Teofimo. They look like they're on a collision course. Leo Santa Cruz's name pops up even. Where do you find challenges for him or exciting fights that we may be able to look forward to in 2020?
It's plain and simple. Everybody want to fight Tank. Because guess what Tank represents? He represents this right here. Everybody wants this right here. And any of the fighters between, you got the 26-pounders, you got the 30-pounders, and you got the 35-pounders, they all want that work. But with the work comes this right here. And they know Tank is the only name that's synonymous with every one of the guys, the top guys. And you even got the promoters talking about. Bob Arum don't want to talk about nobody for Lomo. He talking about Tank. Because you know why? That's a big event in his eyes.
You mentioned 3 weight divisions. Obviously, he's stepping up to 35 for this one. Can he still make the lower weights? How much versatility does he have between, say, 40, 35, and 30?
Again, he can do it. He can do it. But first things first, the focus is Saturday night, again, because I know for a fact Gamboa is bringing it Saturday night. He bringing it. He's extremely experienced, Olympic gold medalist, former unified champion. He got tons of experience. And this is a fight that he's wanted for well over, 2 years, because he reached out to me, his people reached out to me personally. And he's been wanting to fight Tank. So I know when guys do that, they see something that they like, that they think they see something until they get their ass up in there. And it's a whole different ball game.
I can say from experience, having spoken to Tank along the last 2 years, especially, and in this most recent year of 2019, that he seems to be maturing. The way he conducts interviews, the way he presents himself, he's growing up, if you will. Have you recognized that as his promoter, and what do you credit that with or for?
Well, again, that's what happens when you're younger fighters. You're going to make mistakes along the way, again, but he has a great team around him. A good group of men around whom are solid guys, and again, he knows with me and Floyd, he got solid people with him, and Al, you know, so we can't do nothing but go to the top. We always give him great advice, and he's been very receptive to it. And again, he's 25 years old now, and he's doing his thing, and of course you're gonna have bumps and bruises along the way. That's life. We all go through it. But again, I'm very proud of him and how he's handling his business. He's a father now. So that right there, that's a great question. I think fatherhood has changed his whole outlook on life.
When you talk about 2020, him being on pay-per-view, we're probably Mayweather-Pacquiao 2 undercard?
I like how you slid that one in there. I like how you slid that one. No, Tank will be headlining his own pay-per-view.
Okay.
His own pay-per-view in 2020. And this is the start of greatness. So I'm telling all the fans, you know, now, you better get on now while you can. You better get on now while you can, because we witnessing greatness. It's all history. Again, this is something different. This is, again, a whole new movement of fans. This is a whole, the younger generation have embraced Tank. You know, there have been a number of great fighters before him, and there will be a number of great fighters after him. But this is Tank's time now, and they need to embrace it, because, again, he's shown you what kind of impact that he has in several different markets, not just his hometown, because again, the reason why he's able to go in all these venues outside of his hometown is because people want to see excitement. Gervonta Davis is the most exciting fighter in boxing, period.
When you talk about history, you talk about stardom, Floyd Mayweather is obviously a topic at hand because he's coming.
Floyd is the face of boxing still with being retired.
But I thought he's not retired now, right?
I said with being retired.
So coming out of retirement, is he still going to be the face of boxing, or are we looking at the new face of the UFC?
you know Floyd. Floyd can do whatever the hell he wants to do. He's earned that.
Do we know, coming out of retirement, what does that mean, boxing? Coming out of retirement as a boxer?
You gotta ask him that question.
I feel like you know the answer.
I know the answers. I got all the answers.
Okay, fair enough for the minute. There's been, at the end of this year, quite a few interesting bouts that have already happened. This will be the last of the ones this year. We saw Terence Crawford, again, at Madison Square Garden on the same card we mentioned before. Tremendous knockout, probably a knockdown himself that wasn't scored. What did you make of that performance? And what do you see in 2020 for the welterweight division, you know, Floyd's division?
Crawford is a tremendous fighter. He's an exceptional talent. He just can't get no big fights. He just can't get no big fights for whatever reason. We know the reason why, but that's on him and his promoter to go figure that out. And good luck to him. I mean, he's a tremendous talent. It's just, you know, it's just one of them things where they can't get him a big fight. And but that's not my problem. And
it could be. It could be. You could solve that problem.
No, I'm not into solving other people's problems. We dictate what's popping and what's gonna happen.
He tweeted out, "Why not me?" or something to that respect. I went, Crawford baiting Floyd for 47 for a big fight.
Get out of here, man.
Why not? Why not?
Get out of here, man. Come on. That just sounds silly.
Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather sounds silly?
That sounds silly.
Why?
That's not for a number of reasons. For a number of reasons.
Give me a couple of them.
For one, now I'm not into saying disrespectful things, so let's just keep it moving.
All right, we saw another big knockout late this year with Deontay Wilder in a fight that he apparently lost every round of by most people's scorecards, but with one punch was able to stop Luis Ortiz. What do you make of his style of fighting, and how do you feel about the upcoming rematch with Tyson Fury? Does it go the same? Does it go better? Is Wilder improving?
Of course, and I had a chance to witness that going down into his camp. And actually, I've been seeing some things that they've been working on over the last few camps. And there's little subtle things that, but see, he has that equalizer. And anytime he can get you out of there, and all it takes is just, you know, a split second. And he showed that in the Ortiz fight. You can be winning every minute of the round, but that's all it takes is one right hand and you're out of there. And he presents that danger in every fight that he's in. And then people can't seem to get past that. Everybody gets in there with him. He puts him on the canvas.
He likes to say skills don't pay the bills, and he does say the same thing what you quoted. You got to be, you know, perfect for 12 rounds. I only need 1 second, all these things. But it's the antithesis of, I think, what Mayweather's theory is on boxing and the way that he presents his offense and defense. It's
a difference.
Very technical.
He's a heavyweight, and Mayweather was a welterweight. You see what I'm saying? It's like that's what makes Tank so extraordinary, is that because he runs you out that fucking ring. Tank ain't gonna play with you. You see what I'm saying? Is that, again, if you see Tank in a distance fight, that's for a whole nother reason. You see what I'm saying? It's like Tank, when Tank enters that ring, he is looking to run your ass out of that ring. He's not gonna fill you out, and there ain't gonna be no. He's going to run your ass out that ring.
But even Tank's talked about wanting to display his boxing skills. I think he works on that. He's got a jab. Yeah, he's a big puncher, but he still has boxing acumen.
Tank has better skills than most 98% of the fighters out there. There are a few fighters that out there who have exceptional boxing skills. Tank is one of them. You just hadn't had a chance to see that.
Right, so that's my point. When it comes to the way Wilder approaches the sport, it's kind of jarring for boxing purists. And you've seen the best technical fighter up close. Yeah. So when it comes to just you as an observer even.
But there's no Floyd Mayweather in the heavyweight division. You see that? You see what I'm saying? Is that he's fighting other big heavyweights who have very good skills, but there's no Floyd Mayweather in the heavyweight division. You couldn't figure Floyd out if you tried to. Floyd could do all of the above. I mean, he could go in there and do all of that, you know, too. That's why it's like this. People just have no clue. They have no clue. Floyd had fucked up hands his entire career. Yeah. Fucked up hands his entire career. If Floyd hands, man, you would see the same shit that him struck, because he has that kind of mentality. He has that kind of mentality. And
we saw that in the beginning of his career when it was Pretty Boy, before Money Floyd was invented. Yeah. Pretty Boy was far more aggressive, big knockouts, like this kind of thing. You think that Wilder's been able to accomplish what he has because the competition doesn't have the skill level, or is he bringing?
No, I'm giving him all the credit because he deserves all the credit. Wilder is a tremendous fighter who's gotten better and better. And you got to remember, he got started late in his career, so we can't have these unrealistic expectations that he didn't have no amateur career where he was he was this great Olympian that had 300 fights and, you know, the whole thing. No, he got started with boxing late. He's extremely athletic. He has very good skills, and he's maximized that, and he has tremendous punching power. That with that combined, he has a great team. You see what he's doing. I mean, he's making history, and he's knocking everybody out.
So the antithesis of that approach, I think, is what we saw from Joshua and Saudi in particular. He seems to be now leaning down, looking to be a far more technical, a lot of jab, a lot of movement.
I give him all the credit. Because winning is the name of the game. But I'm saying in order to grow your fan base, especially when you're heavyweight, they want to see motherfuckers get knocked the fuck out. They don't want to see a heavyweight go and box somebody for 12 rounds. I appreciate the sweet signs, because again, that's what I grew up on. That's what, you know, I worked with the best fighter ever, you know. But that's not what the fans want to see. I can't speak for all the fans, but I'm telling you, when you're a heavyweight fighter, when you're heavyweight, that's what the fans want to see.
Well, how do you compare the Joshua pre-Ruiz to the Joshua rematch Ruiz and going forward?
I give him a lot of credit. I was very, very impressed with how he handled himself and how he stuck to his game plan. It was very impressive, because that's hard to do, and you talk to any fighter, it's hard to follow a game plan for 12 rounds and stay consistent with that game plan. And he didn't take many chances because he wanted to go out there and win the fight. That was their mentality, and it showed in the game plan, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. I give him and Rob all the credit in the world. They deserve it. Props to him. And guess what? I was one of the motherfuckers that was picking against him. I picked Ruiz.
Right.
But I didn't expect Ruiz to come in as heavy as he did, and you know, all of that, not taking anything away from Joshua. But again, I was wrong, and it's okay.
Did Ruiz blow it? It was shocking in the post-fight interviews with him saying he wasn't training and he put on this weight, being unfocused.
But see, people ain't see. This is what I'm saying. People, it's like I'm understanding that definitely from a fighter perspective, it's disrespectful. Like how you got the biggest fight of your life and you don't prepare properly. But people ain't been in that situation. When you get money, man, it's different. It's different. Unless you've been in that situation and making millions of dollars, you don't know how you gonna handle a situation. You know what I'm saying? You come from, this man was living with his mom in his mama's house. And then you go out and then you go out and get a fight, a short notice fight that nobody's expecting you to win. And you go out there and you knock the heavyweight champion of the world out. And then all of a sudden you get all this instant fame and this status and a bunch of money with it. Come on, man. You can't. It's like, so for me, and you know, people who come from the mud, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and to reach the top, it's like you know, I can feel what, you know what I'm saying? It's like Floyd had a different kind of approach though. Floyd was from the gutter, but he had a different kind of mindset. It was like, let me tell you how Floyd's mindset was. I remember the very first big fight we ever had. We go. So fight's obviously on Saturday night. So we all are making plans to do something. You know, we had a long camp. He said, He said, we ain't done shit. We back in the gym on Monday. We ain't even cashed the check. That was always his mentality. This is I don't like to curse a lot, but this is a dude that, you know, he's 700-800 million in, and he waking up out the satin sheets. Ain't telling nobody nothing. He out there on that road. It's a different kind of mentality. You know what I'm saying? It's different. Floyd was always wanted to be the best, and the money never mattered. No money, because with greatness, when you go out there and doing your thing, the money gonna come. The money gonna come. See, a lot of these fighters are focused on, you know, this and that. You gotta focus out there on your craft, how you can improve your craft, how you can become better. You know what I'm saying? You get in big fights knowing what it's like to be in championship fights. You know what I'm saying? Floyd's for well over 26 world champions. And again, but he's always had the mentality that he never made a dime in his life. That's how he trained. That's how he trained. You got to run him out the gym. You know what I'm saying? It's like he take his job. He's always taking his job very, very seriously. That man don't play when it comes to his job. You know what I'm saying? They see all the flashy this and that, and it's like, but when it comes time to work, come on, man. That man take his job and nobody's ever came. No young lady, his family, his kids, nobody's ever came in the middle. He'll stop his kids in a heartbeat. So look, I'm doing my job, I gotta do this. That's his mentality. He don't not play when it comes to his job. He take his job very, very seriously.
It's hard for a guy who has a career as long as his to stay that consistent about his job for that long. Usually when the retirement announcement comes, the next time you see him, they're a good 30, 40 pounds heavier than they were. This is not the case. Has he been still in the gym when retirement came? Is he still staying in the gym?
He stayed in the gym because guess what? He takes great pride in how he presents himself, you know, how he looks in his clothes, and he's a professional. You know what I mean? He's been a great athlete, and he's always mindful. He's always walked around at his fighting weight. I've never seen that man weigh 160 pounds a day in my life. You see what I'm saying? That's been his mentality. Been his mentality, regardless. And what's been more impressive to me, when you got a chance to look back, is that he's the only fighter that I know that gets in the ring with guys on a consistent basis that outweigh him by 20 pounds on fight night. And then they say, well, why he ain't knock somebody out? Come on, man, you kidding me? You're kidding me right now. You know, you fighting a guy that's in some cases, you look back at all the big fights. You know, there's only been a handful of guys that weighed around, meaning actually weighed around the same thing that he did. Judah's won, Pacquiao's won. It's maybe one or two. Everybody else got him by 18, some cases 25 pounds on fight night. Oscar De La Hoya already fighting already fighting him at 54, and you see him on fight night. He's got Floyd by 21 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Floyd lost a pound coming into the. You know what I'm saying? How you do that? You know what I'm saying? For the night before.
Well, it's clearly not money, and if it's not legacy, he's got the record that he always wanted. What is it that brings Floyd out of retirement again?
You gotta ask him that question.
But you know the answer. He's not here.
You gotta ask him that question. Yeah.
What do you think would have to happen for him to retire once and for all?
Floyd Mayweather is a man of many thoughts and many things. You never know. One day he wakes up and the next day he feel one way. One day he feel this way, the next day he feel another way. You know, that's what makes him, that's his makeup. Makes him who he is.
And what about you, Leonard? You're pretty much in the prime of your promoter, if that's the correct term for your career. What are your goals in this role to accomplish for Mayweather Promotions? How do you
to see this next man on who we're gonna all witness on Saturday night, take him to that pinnacle, just how we did with Mayweather. Take him to that to the whole nother level. See, people in this boxing community, they so short-sighted. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's in this small group of they can't think outside the box. You know that's everything we do is big. Everything we do with the mindset of thinking big, because when you think like that, then you can make it happen. But when you think small, that's what it's going to be.
How do you grow the stable of fighters? Obviously, Gervonta is a big star for you now,
I don't need 75 fighters. I need the group of guys that I got, and all it takes is one. I work with the biggest, baddest motherfucker ever. Made more money than everybody. He go out and get it in whops. You know what I'm saying? 200, 300 in one night. It take NBA players to get that in 6-7 years. See what I'm saying? It's always about thinking outside the box. We got a great team.
Is your theory that your fighter, like Mayweather, was able to dictate all terms because he had such a lion's share of the money draw?
And Tank's going to do the same thing.
How do you accomplish that?
We're doing it now.
So you want to bring other fighters over to what existing platform exactly? To get the fights.
You talking about other fighters building
to
out?
Create the matchups, to make matchups that are exciting, pay-per-view worthy. You need fighters that aren't on your roster and maybe not on this existing network.
No, what it comes down to is that fighters want to fight in the biggest fights and the biggest events and make the most money. Okay? That's what Gervonta Davis represents.
Is he willing to fight on other platforms to create those marquee events?
No. We're dictating every term, everything that happens, we're calling all the shots. It's what it is. It's what it is. Like it or don't like it, we're going to still keep this machine moving.
So with that principle, what are the likely opponents for a pay-per-view event?
Going to fight on DAZN? Absolutely not.
Not DAZN, not ESPN, not.
What I'm saying is this. Is that not getting out in front of things. It's like Tank is the biggest name and the biggest draw out there in that small division, in the smaller weight classes. You know what I'm saying? He's the biggest star out there already. Again, I've told you, not something that I'm telling you, that it's, you see other fighters. It's like everybody wants to fight him, and it's for a reason. The same way Mayweather, it's like he represents the biggest payday out there for them. You see what I'm saying? It's like Teofimo Lopez. Who does he make more money fighting, Lomachenko or Davis?
I don't know. This would be the first time to find out if you do a pay-per-view.
Okay.
But who would you put in a pay-per-view with him?
I can put him in the pay-per-view fight with anybody.
So you feel like his name alone carries the pay-per-view, doesn't matter the opponent?
It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. We're looking to fight the biggest and best fights out there. It doesn't. I mean, people will come out and support and see things. What's up, Johnny? People will come out there and support and see things based upon, it's like, I guarantee you that the fans that are going to be in the arena Saturday night, a lot of them are not going to know that man's stats. They're coming to see Tank. They're coming to see Tank knock that motherfucker out. That's what they want to see. You'll hear some diehard fans that mention some other names, and it's okay. We're going to get to him. We can't get to him tonight. You know, Tank's 25 years old. We're going to fight everybody. Just can't do it tonight. You know what I mean? Everybody going to get their turn. They're going to get their turn. They just got to wait in line.
One guy.
We're going to decide who that next person is. Nobody else is going to determine that.
Lastly, we saw Mikey Garcia go over to DAZN for a fight at 47, again, heavier weight. But he's something of a free agent. You know what I mean? He's dabbled with everybody. We don't know that DAZN will keep him. Is that the kind of fighter? I know you don't need 75 fighters, but 5 would be nice. Is that a fighter that you want to draw?
I got some good fighters.
I'm saying that all of those fighters could build to be names of the level we're talking about. But there are a lot out there now that you could draw if you wanted to. I'm trying to figure out who
I'm working there. There are a lot of these guys that who with other companies who try to reach out behind the scenes, but it's something that I don't do. I don't disrespect no other promoters. If they work, if that's their kid that they're working with, that's what the first thing I ask somebody is like, do you have a promoter? If you got a promoter, I can't talk to you, because see, I don't play that disrespect shit. I take shit personal. You know what I mean? That's just me. I don't fuck with other people's kids. You know, I'm saying that in a respectful way. It's like he's under contract with somebody. You know, I don't do that. Wait till they get out of their situation, and let's have a conversation.
In that same vein, now that Mayweather, or at least had been retired for a while, not taking up so much of your time and energy, and with Mayweather promotion,
takes up a lot of my time, but it's okay though. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We have a great stable of young fighters that I'm very excited about. You know, and everybody can't be Floyd Mayweather, and it's okay. It's okay. Floyd was an exceptional fighter that broke all kinds of records. But everybody can't be Floyd. Everybody can't be Tank. You know, Tank is gravitated to this younger generation, and again, they rocking with him. They rocking with Tank. When you see people in these communities who look at his fan base. Again, Tank is the only fighter that's out there that's going in these different markets that's selling out. They're selling out. We go to the UK. We go to the UK, Copper Box. It's standing room only like this. You know, well over 10,000 people. And it's just, and it was 7 of us that traveled over there. We were just together. And we were the only Tank fans that was there. You know what I'm saying? But he made a bunch of UK fans when he left out of there. You know what I'm saying? The same way in LA. Your last minute opponent, Adam Mares is a great fighter. You know, he had the unfortunate eye injury. You know, we had a last-minute replacement. People could have turned the tickets in. They came out because they love what Tank brings to the table. He's the most exciting fighter in the sport, and that's what people love to see.
We just saw the return, at least on camera for the first time, of Errol Spence. Obviously, the car accident was a tragedy. But what do you make of his comeback, the incident that happened? Interesting to me that you are seemingly friendly with a lot of fighters that you don't represent, that you have a relationship with. I would imagine Spence is one of those.
I have a different kind of relationship. I don't have to be somebody's promoter to have an influence on them and to be, you know, because they are all my guys. I call them all my guys. I ain't got to have a contract with Danny Garcia. I speak to Danny regularly. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, those are my guys. And I'm going to support them and give them great advice and help them in any kind of way that I can.
What's your advice for Errol Spence?
To continue to stay focused, and the best is yet to come. We're going to see from Errol. Errol's a tremendous fighter. Tremendous fighter.
We talked about staying in the gym when it comes to Mayweather, the kind of focus that Gervonta's seeming to display now. Is that an issue for Errol. Have you had any conversation with him since the accident?
No, I haven't, meaning dialogue, meaning not like face to face, but again, he's focused. You know, he escaped in a very, very, very tragic, you know, incident. You know, he came out unscathed, meaning I'm saying there's no permanent damage, no, you know, and it's just truly a blessing from God to be, you know, in that position, to be able to still go out there and provide for his family and to make history. And I'm just excited to, you know, to see where he goes and what's going on. I know what's happening, and he got big things, and you know, he's going to be the same old Errol Spence.
Leonard, you talked about your relationship with fighters being unique, and the theory on which you promote Gervonta, which is call all the shots regardless.
I'm all in. I'm very passionate about my guys.
What would be your case to bring fighters to Mayweather promotion that probably have more choices now than they ever had of places to go? Why Mayweather promotion is the place to be?
We take care of our fighters, and if you're with me, you're gonna get an opportunity. You're gonna get an opportunity if you're with Mayweather Promotions. That's guaranteed. We're gonna get you an opportunity. If you can fight, we're gonna get you an opportunity, or another opportunity, or maybe even another opportunity. Again, that's what we all about. You know, taking care of our fighters, putting them in the best situation to be successful. Again, I don't want 75 fighters. That's just me. Everybody else is all over the place, and then if you're all over the place, how can you focus on what's in front of you and the thing? You can't give everybody your time and you know, that kind of thing. We have a good group of, but I'm always looking to improve our roster of talent. And again, I got a number of things we're working on right now. Stay tuned.
All right, we'll stay tuned this Saturday night. You're giving everyone in Atlanta the opportunity to see a world-class boxing event, the first time in over 20 years. Leonard Ellerbe in Atlanta over Christmas with Radio Rahim. Where else would you possibly want to be?
Nowhere but Atlanta. In the A.
T-L.
That's it.
Radio Rahim with Leonard Ellerbe.